You keep showing up, you keep doing the reps, but the mirror doesn't change. The numbers don't move. The world stays silent, and somewhere in that silence, your mind starts whispering, maybe this isn't working. Maybe you're just not cut out for this. This is the moment where 99% of people quit. Not because they're weak, but because they never trained for this part of the path, the invisible part, but ninjas did. They weren't just assassins in the night. They were masters of unseen progress, experts in silent evolution. They trained when nobody watched, improved without applause, and most importantly, they kept going when everything screamed stop. They had no external validation, only internal direction, no spotlight, just shadow. And still, they moved forward, one silent step at a time. In this video, I'll show you how to train your mind like a ninja, when your body's tired, when the world ignores you, and when progress refuses to show up. By the end, you'll have 5 ninja-level techniques to stay consistent, disciplined, and unbreakable, no matter how loud the silence gets. But first, you need to disappear and switch into shadow mode. You walk through the door after a long day. Your body's drained, your mind is fried, and still, deep down, you know there's something important you should be working on. But you don't move. You sit, scroll, or distract yourself. Not because you're lazy, but because you're stuck in the wrong identity. This is where the ninja mindset begins. See, ninjas didn't live as warriors 24/7. They slipped between roles. Merchant by day, shadow by night, smiling in public, deadly in silence. That wasn't deception, it was tactical identity switching. They understood that different missions require different minds and different energy. You're trying to create from the same brain that just spent 8 hours defending itself. Emails, meetings, obeying orders. That's survival mode. You can't build in survival mode. That's like asking a hunted animal to write poetry. It doesn't work. Ninjas had rituals. Before every mission, they'd disappear into silence, strip away the civilian self, step into the shadow. Physically, they might have looked the same, but mentally, they were transformed. They didn't feel ready. They made themselves ready. Their actions created the identity. And that's your way in. You need the same shift. That version of you who survives the 9 to 5, that's not the one who builds your future. The builder in you needs a different rhythm, a different mindset. One that doesn't ask for permission or wait for motivation. One that doesn't serve the day, it owns the night. The transition isn't automatic. You need to trigger it. Change your clothes. Take a cold shower. Light a candle. Play a sound. Sit in silence. Journal one sentence. Tell your mind, we've switched. This is builder time now, because until you become someone else, you'll keep repeating who you've always been. Progress isn't always visible, and that's where most people break. They train for a week, a month, maybe 2, and when nothing changes on the outside, they collapse on the inside. But here's what the ninjas knew. Just because you can't see it, doesn't mean it's not working. In feudal Japan, shinobi trained underground, literally and mentally. They built strength in silence. They mastered techniques in caves, forests, and shadows, far from applause or recognition. Weeks, months, even years of preparation, for a mission that might never come. That's the level of faith they carried, not in outcomes, but in the process. You need that same mental discipline, because if you only train when you feel progress, your journey will collapse the moment growth hides. Today, we measure everything: followers, metrics, visible wins. But your real growth? It's happening below the surface. When you repeat a routine, even when it feels pointless. When you keep writing, training, building, not for applause, but for alignment. In ninja scrolls like the Bansen Shukai, they spoke of kujaku, the mental patience to act without immediate results, to delay reward, to suffer silence. This is what modern minds miss. You think the work isn't working because there's no reward, but you're looking in the wrong place. The ninja didn't train for claps, they trained for readiness. If you want to think like them, Shift your reward system. Stop measuring outcome. Start measuring consistency. Did you show up today? Did you follow through? Then you won. That's it. Progress is not a straight line. It's a shadow that follows silently and only reveals itself when you least expect it. Train like the result is guaranteed, even if you never see it coming. Big wins don't come from big days. They come from invisible rituals, the ones you repeat even when no one's watching. Ninjas knew this better than anyone. Their power wasn't in flashy moves, but in rituals so small and consistent, they became identity. One breath before the blade, one silent step through the forest, one glance at the stars before a mission. They didn't wait for motivation. They built momentum through meaning. To the untrained eye, these actions meant nothing. But to the shinobi, they were anchors, reminders of who they were becoming, even when they couldn't yet see the outcome. Modern minds overcomplicate this. We chase new tools, new hacks, new dopamine. But your brain doesn't need more complexity. It needs proof, repetition, rhythm, small actions tied to your bigger purpose. Want to write a book? Commit to one sentence before bed. Want to build a business? Open your dashboard every night. Want to get fit? Hit one push-up after brushing your teeth. Want to be disciplined? Make your bed without fail. Want to stay grounded? Breathe in silence for 60 seconds. Want to master your craft? Touch it every single day. It's not about intensity, it's about identity. Every time you repeat a ritual, you send your brain one clear message: this still matters. And the more days you collect in silence, the louder your results will speak later. In the Ninpidon, ancient ninja texts describe mental endurance as being forged through quiet rituals that shape the self without shouting. That's your model. Your progress is invisible because it's underground, but every ritual is a seed, and what feels like nothing now will grow roots so deep that when the breakthrough comes, it will feel like it happened overnight. But you'll know better. Water the roots, ignore the surface, trust the rituals. Eventually, you'll hit the wall. Not a soft one, a brutal, silent wall. You're doing everything right, you're consistent, you're focused, and still, nothing moves. No feedback, no growth, no sign that it's working. This is where most people turn back. But to a ninja, the wall wasn't a problem. It was part of the mission. Shinobi trained not just for action, but for inaction, for waiting, for enduring. They were experts in psychological warfare, not just with enemies, but with their own mind. Long missions in enemy territory meant boredom, uncertainty, discomfort. But they didn't break. They trained inside it. That's how you weaponize the wall. The wall isn't the end. It's the weight room for your mind. It's where your discipline gets forged. It's the battlefield where most people die, but also where legends are born. Instead of asking, "Why am I stuck?" ask, "What am I training here?" Maybe it's patience. Maybe it's detachment. Maybe it's your ability to act without applause. Either way, the wall is working on you, if you let it. Ninjas would deliberately create discomfort to test their own resolve. Cold exposure, long silence, physical strain. These weren't obstacles, they were simulations. Proof that the body doesn't control the mission, the mind does. If you keep training inside the wall, one breath, one rep, one small act at a time, it eventually crumbles under your consistency. So when you hit your wall, don't run, don't cry, don't scroll. Lean in, sit still, smile. Because while everyone else is breaking, you're sharpening. And soon, when momentum returns, you'll be 10 times stronger. Not because you avoided the wall, but because you trained inside it. The wall isn't your enemy, it's your dojo. Some days, you'll have nothing left. No energy, no clarity, no motivation. You'll feel crushed by work, life, stress, or just exhaustion. The kind of day where doing anything feels impossible. This is the moment where people lose momentum, not because they want to quit, but because they didn't prepare for the low days. But ninjas did. They had a concept, the eternal flame, a fire that never goes out, even when the wind howls. Not a blaze, a spark, just enough heat to survive the coldest nights. For the shinobi, the flame represented intention. Even when their mission paused, their purpose didn't. They'd do one thing to keep the spirit alive: clean a weapon, memorize a map, repeat a phrase, not for speed, not for success, but for continuity. You need your version of that. On your worst day, don't aim for a breakthrough. Aim for one proof of life. Write one sentence, do one push-up, review one idea, send one message, read one paragraph, meditate for 1 minute, recite your goal out loud. Anything. It's not about progress, it's about survival. Because 0 kills momentum. But 1 keeps the flame alive. Modern hustle culture glorifies the grind but ignores the crash. Ninjas were smarter. They built systems for the valleys. They didn't trust emotion, they trusted structure. They anticipated the fall and prepared for the comeback. They didn't fight every day, but they prepared every day. Quietly, deliberately, without needing a reward. So on your weakest day, don't disappear. Don't break the chain. Just lower the bar to the floor and step over it. It may feel small, but it's massive. Because when the storm passes and you're still here, the flame is waiting. And a ninja with a flame is never truly out of the fight. You've now seen the path, not the loud one, not the one with instant results, but the silent one, the ninja path. Switch your identity, train in the shadows, trust invisible rituals, use the wall as your dojo, keep the flame alive, protect the mission at all costs. This isn't about motivation, it's about becoming someone who no longer needs it, someone built for the storm. Because when the world goes quiet, the real warriors emerge. If you want more mindsets like this, discipline, identity, ancient wisdom, subscribe, like, and keep building in silence. Now go, disappear, and keep sharpening your edge. Subscribe now, and become the ninja of your own story.